My husband here has been collecting eggshells for quite some time. He eats a lot of eggs. And what we're going to do is we are going to throw these in the oven. There's a lot of eggshells. I didn't know you had that many.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm gonna throw them in the oven to completely dry them out, and and just bake them just a little bit. Not, you don't want to burn them or anything, but dry them out real good. And then we're gonna turn them into a powder. And you could use this for your chickens as a supplement in their feed for extra calcium. We are gonna add it to our garden soil to help building the calcium levels in our soil for next year, so that we don't have problems with blossom end rot. And this is a natural way, free. You know, you've already eaten the eggs, and I paid for the chickens to lay these eggs, so I might as well get every bit I can out of them.
We're gonna get the other tray prepared for the eggshells, but my husband has the oven preheating at 170.
That's as low as our oven goes. You
Yeah.
could go to like 150. You don't need a lot of heat just to dry these out to where they're real crunchy and will powder up easy.
So that is what we're gonna do, and then we're gonna stick them in the oven.
All right, I ended up bumping up the temperature to 250 for about 15 minutes. And you see, well, you start to see them starting to brown there. They're not burnt, but they're starting to brown, good and dry. I'm gonna fill up, this is a food processor. You could use your blender, coffee grinder, whatever you got. These ones are still a little bit warm to the touch. Like, the 170 would have took much longer, so that's why I went ahead and bump it up to 250. I'm going to go ahead and load it up. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. It's going to be pretty loud, so we'll probably edit out most of this and show you the results. I'll let it set for a minute because it's going to be a lot of
Powder.
dust flying out.
The stuff is very dusty, so if you have an outdoor kitchen or something like that that you can do this in, it'd be perfect. But yeah, you could just see like the dust flying off of that.
Yeah. But this, you could go for a little bit longer, but you want it at least like that. The smaller the better. If you can actually get it to turn into powder, that's the best. But this machine will only do a little better than this. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just go ahead and add some more to this.
Okay, so we just finished chopping those up. And yeah,
Try not to breathe that dust in. You see there's powder toward the bottom here, more powdery. But the longer you run it, it'll get a little bit more powdery, but the finer you can get it, the better. If you can get it to complete dust, do that. This machine isn't going to quite get it there, but this will still work. It just make it easier for the worms and the microbes and everything else to break this stuff down in the soil and to get this calcium into the soil. That is the plan. And no additional cost to you because you've already paid to produce the eggs or buy the eggs, whatever you've done. And now you can reuse this in your garden to help grow better tomatoes and peppers and everything else. Yeah, don't breathe that. But all those eggshells, we ran this 3 times. break down into just that much. But it's very heavy. It's very dense. And then like we put some in a bag already. That's about how much you get out of one cookie sheet of eggshells. Real fine. But if you can, like I said, if you can get it straight down to powder, that's the way you want it. All right, this is about half a freezer bag is what we ended up with out of 4 trays of eggshells. It's very, it's probably, I don't know, 3 to 5 pounds.
It's pretty heavy.
Yeah, it's got a lot of weight to it. I'd like to get it finer, but that's about as good as we can do. There's some real fine powders in there you can see, but a lot of it's like, you know, broke down. But either way, this will help it break down in the garden, in the soil, make it faster, because regular eggshells take a long time. If you throw a whole eggshell in there, it'll take a long time to break down. The heat one helps break it down to the size because you know, pulverized it. So that'll help, and I will show you. I'm going to go throw some in the garden right now. Sprinkle it all over the surface, and plus this will also help deter pests, because that fine powder like that, like it seems like powder to us, but to insects, that can be little razor blades. You know what I mean?
Stinks.
Yeah, it has a smell to it. Some people even use this stuff. They'll wash the eggshells after they've used it, and then they will dry them like this and then completely powder them and put it in homemade toothpaste.
Ew.
But just trying to be liberal with this stuff. Like I said, this isn't an instant fix for calcium in your soil. This is a long-term fix so that we don't have those problems of, uh-oh, we've got blossom end rot. What do we do?
Which always ends up, as soon as you plant your tomatoes and you get your first tomato, that's when you recognize that
you'll
you
find
have
out
it.
pretty quick if you have it usually. All right, guys, this is our tip for something you can do to your garden to help you grow big. It's something free, cheap, and a little bit of effort. That's all it needs. Catch us next time over at Grow Big TV, Wide Family Farm, or catch Joe over at Garden State Gardener.